Hey, so welcome back to day 4 of Thrive. Welcome on Zoom, welcome on Facebook, and really big welcome to those of you doing the replay as well. It takes an extra little bit of discipline to do a replay and do the homework, and some of you have really been doing that. There's been some great power catch-ups. I've seen 3 in one day from someone, so well done on that. Before we dive into today's content and a little opening meditation, just like yesterday, there was a couple of observations, a few things that have come up that I've noticed in comments or homework that I just wanted to address. One is, when we take the relationship building, having real conversations with real people about real results, delivering real change, creating real yoga classes, real community, there can sometimes be a little stumbling block right at the beginning, and it is the real conversations bit. It doesn't always seem that way when I'm here talking on Zoom, but I am naturally very introverted. I'm most comfortable talking to my cats, and it takes quite a lot for me to push my inner hermit out of the house. And I really felt that yesterday. I haven't taught public classes for August. I went back out to lead Kirtan last night, and there was some inner resistance. But as soon as I was there with people, I saw the real people. They started sharing what they've been doing in the month of August. It started to feel more natural again, but I understand that resistance. Who here would say they actually, the idea of real conversations with strangers in and of itself is a little bit daunting? So when things are daunting, what helps me, and this might help you, it might not, is to have a little framework, to have a little formula in mind. I love to cook, and going into my kitchen with no recipe book, opening my cupboards, opening the fridge, seeing what's there and creating something from nothing is fun to me. But that's not to my husband. He needs to follow a recipe. And once he's got a recipe, he enjoys the process of cooking, but he doesn't like just flying in that creative blank space. And I think it can feel the same when we're having conversations with people. So let's just get a little recipe. So I haven't got this in a PowerPoint anywhere, so you're going to have to make notes. I'm going to put it in the chat just in case you doesn't come across clearly. But I'd like you to write in your notes T-E-D, going down in a line, T-E-D, otherwise called TED. And the most important thing is when you're having a conversation with somebody, you don't actually have to say much. So that really helps the inner introvert. We just have to ask open questions and then allow the other person to speak, encourage them to speak, and then at an appropriate point, talk a bit about how yoga can help them. So we don't actually have to speak that much. So TED, T stands for tell me. Some of you will know this, but you've maybe not applied it to yoga conversations. E, explain. D, describe. So how a conversation could go, say you find yourself at a partner's work social engagement, and in that horrific world of small talk, someone says, oh, so what do you do? You're like, oh, I'm a yoga teacher. And then they say, oh, do you know, I've got back pain. And you're like, oh yeah, okay. So just what I wanted to talk about on a social evening. But then we end up saying, oh my God, did you know yoga can be really good for back pain? Have you ever tried yoga? And then we go on to the talk mode, whereas we should have gone TED. So when they said, oh my God, you're a yoga teacher, I have back pain, you either T, E, or D. Tell me more about that. Explain to me what's it like for you living with back pain. Describe to me how you feel the pain. Then they tell you more information. So tell me more about that. Oh, do you know, I've had back pain for so many years. I just live with back pain. TED, explain to me what it's like living with that. How does it affect your life? oh, do you know what? It can really affect my relationships. I find I'm not that tolerant when I'm in pain. I'm snappier. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Describe to me a little bit more about the actual pain. Is it worse in the morning or in the evening? And then they can say, oh, it's worse in the morning. Hey, do you find that if you do a little gentle stretching when you wake up, it eases? Have you ever tried that? No. I really think it might help. I could teach you some really simple yoga poses that you could do in the morning that could help. Would you like to have a one-to-one private yoga class with me so we can get you just a really simple morning routine you can do? Could you feel how that little conversation I had with myself flowed? But all I was sticking to a recipe. Tell me, explain, tell me more, explain, describe. So that is one of the best ways to help ourselves as introverts with those conversations. The other thing that I noticed popped up was a couple of comments about surveys. I really think surveying your audience is a little bit of a double-edged sword for two reasons. A lot of people will survey their potential audience about days and times of classes. And trust me, they won't agree. There'll be a consensus maybe, but they won't agree. And it feels a bit crappy when you answered with a time and that's not the time that then happened. You're like, oh, I'd love Monday 10 a.m. and they do Tuesday 5 p.m. Like, oh. So I tend not to survey on times and days because often it's more limited than that anyway. Look at what's available. And also just what works with you. I say this time and time again in mentorship, like literally time and time again, life before business. If you do not want to be teaching a yoga class at 6 p.m. on a Friday, do not teach a yoga class at 6 p.m. on a Friday. I run a 4 mornings a week yoga membership. It's at 8 a.m. 8 a.m. is not a good time for a lot of people. It's really bad for my mums. 8 a.m. is just not doable. For some people, it's too late to get to work. And for some people, it's actually too early. But you know what? 8 a.m. suits me. I don't want to do it at any other time. So I do it at 8 a.m. And lots of people do it on the replay. So they'll do it at 6 a.m. the following morning on replay. You got to do what works for you first, or you can end up resenting it. And then that energy ripples out. So that's one reason I don't tend to go down the survey route personally. I mean, you can say that with the times of these sessions. These sessions are at 3 o'clock. That's terrible for people who have school pickup. Because 3 o'clock is what works for me with consistency. Now, the next one is people will want to survey to see how people answer things, what their words are, what their needs are, to have that kind of conversation. But it's not personal. A survey is not a real conversation with a real person. A survey is not a real conversation. When you are sent a survey, you know you're one of many. Even if that many is 5 and surveys are anonymized and it makes you feel anonymous. So I remember the very first time, it's about 3-4 years ago, I was setting up a proper mentorship program. I just rang a few different teachers that I knew that were at different stages in their business, from just setting up or wanting to reestablish after a baby or wanting to grow, and said, I'm thinking of setting up this mentorship program. I'd really like to talk to you. Obviously, I'm not trying to sell you a mentorship program. It doesn't even exist yet. I just want to talk to you. And I had a real conversation. So there's obviously going to be a place for surveys. I'm sure there is. I haven't found one, but there could be for you. I just think, would it be better to have a real conversation with a smaller subgroup of people, and times and days, just do what works best for you. All right. So finding a little comfortable seat and allowing the eyes to close. This is a meditation that was taught to me by Sally Kempton. It's one that I've always kept with. As you take a moment just to settle into your seat, to arrive. And feel a gentle rising through your spine, extending to your crown. Noticing your breath as it enters and exits your body at your nostrils. And then following that breath in through the nose, in and down to your chest, to your lungs. And following the breath up and out. And following the breath energetically from the outer world in and down to your heart space. And from your heart space back up and out into the world. And as you follow the breath into your heart, imagine a small almond-shaped flame nestled in your heart center. And this flame is your light. And your dharma is to follow your light and let it illuminate darkness. And we're going to drip into this almond flame a little nectar on the inhale. As you inhale, dripping in the phrase, I am. And as you exhale, just imagine that flame shining a little brighter and stronger with that nectar. Seeking an answer. Dripping into the flame, I am, as you inhale. Feeling your light burn brighter as you exhale. Let's take 3 more of these together. Trusting in your light. And as you sit with that light in the center of your chest, and it's here for a reason. The gift of yoga has come into your world for a reason. Something has drawn you to the path to teach. And follow your path, no one else's. Shine your light where it's most needed. And trust. And flickering the eyes open. Really leaning in to the teachings of yoga philosophy. You'll find everything you need there. Follow your dharma, even if imperfectly. Do the work with a non-attachment to the outcome. And there's one more line. It's from the Mahabharata, actually, the epic that the Bhagavad Gita sits within. And it says, when you uphold your dharma, and that dharma fits with the universal principles, dharma upholds you. We can release attachment. Dharma upholds you when you follow your light. You take imperfect action with non-attachment to the results. Dharma, the world, holds you up. And let's put today's screen share on. Okay. Okay, so hopefully you can see that screen share all right. So today we are coming into grow, but actually what we're covering is just as relevant if you haven't even established a yoga class yet. And if you haven't even done one yoga class yet, my advice is to always start with a beginner's course. 4 or 6 weeks. You spend the 6 weeks prior to the course marketing it, and then you spend the 6 weeks of the course practicing teaching. So it's the best way to get started rather than having to market and teach at the same time. And so how you market anything in 6 stages is what we're covering today. But if it is on this grow topic, the more investment, the more complex, the longer something is that you want to offer, a course, a class, a retreat, a workshop, the more deliberate you want to be in the marketing, the promotion plan. But first off, it's to say, is it the right time to expand? Are you ready? How to create a step-by-step promotion plan, some ideas to get you going on how to launch something. And if you're still here and you'd like to learn more, an invitation on how we can work together a little bit more. So first of all, is it time to expand? And I touched on this yesterday. Patience. Patience, all in good time. There is no difference between a yoga teacher that teaches one class and a yoga teacher that has a full timetable with retreats. How much you teach and what you teach is not a bearing on how good a teacher you are. How good a teacher is about how you share your light, your passion, your knowledge with a genuine desire to serve your community. And that can be done beautifully with one class. So patience, all in good time. As I said yesterday, focus on one thing at a time. Fill it up before adding more. This is the key to avoiding overwhelm and bad marketing as well. The fastest way to grow a business is slowly. Slow and steady, one client, one student, one offering at a time. It is not sexy. I'm sorry. I see things all over social media, I see it at a different level. It's like, get your first 10K month, no business to 10K months in 3 months. I'm like, oh dear me. The fastest way to grow a business is slowly. If someone promises you something different, they haven't grown a business. Before adding bigger investment offerings, we need to ask ourselves the following. And by investment, I mean offerings that are asking your students to invest more. That could be investing more of their time. So changing from a 1-hour class to a whole day retreat. That's asking your student to invest a whole day with you. Or from a 1-day course to a 6-month course. Again, investing more time with you and more time in their yoga. Often we just dip our toe in to begin with, don't we? So it's asking them to invest more time, and it might be that you're asking them to invest more money, from a free first class to a £10 drop-in class, to a £30 workshop, to a £95 day retreat, to a £900 retreat abroad, I offer teacher training, to a £4,000 teacher training. So it's time, energy, money when we're looking at investment. Is now the right time? And I love to motivate and inspire teachers, but I also like to coach time, patience, slow down. So sometimes this is not always the nicest questions to ask. Is your client base big enough? So let's think about running a day retreat. So maybe you have one class, and that one class is going really well. It's pretty much always full, somewhere between 12 to 18 students. They're asking for more. It's going really well. And you think, great, I'm going to do a day retreat. Now, of those 12 to 18 students that are attending that class, some of them just won't be interested in a day retreat. They're getting the fix they need from a 1-hour class. Like, I have quite a few students who are sort of runners and athletes and triathletes, and they've got so much of their time dedicated that way. And a 1-hour yoga fix a week is all they want. Okay, so some of them just won't be interested. Some of them really will be interested, but they work Saturdays. Or some of them will be interested, but that weekend's a wedding, or that weekend's a Christmas office party, or they're interested but they can't afford it yet. So there's many reasons why your loyal client base might not be able to do that next level investment that you're looking for. So you need to make sure that your client base is big enough. So say again, you've got 12 to 18 in a class, and you know you need 16 people to cover the costs and make a little bit of a return on a day retreat. So if you're looking for 16 people out of a class that's 12 to 18, it's not going to happen. You need to build out your classes first. I think it took me about 2 years. I'm quite a slow person. It took me about 2 years before I started adding, I think it was my first weekend retreat. I'd done a few workshops before. It was about 2 years before I did a first weekend retreat. Then you've got to focus on that simple investment of a £10 yoga class, a little bit of a course, as you grow your client base large enough to do retreats, workshops, and trainings. Because what happens if you don't? A lot of people will then start to advertise their courses, retreats, events to people outside of their client base. You'll see people put it on retreat listing websites all over social media. Yes, you will pick up 1 or 2 strangers, maybe. I get 1 or 2 strangers on a retreat, but not many. The bulk of your students for different offers will come from your existing client base. So add enough classes, maybe 4 or so before you think about adding bigger ticket events. Then when you think, yeah, do you know what? My client base is big enough. I need about 12 people for this day retreat. I'm running 4 classes with an average of 12 people in each. Yeah, do you know what? My client base is big enough. So the next question, is this new offering responding to a need, desire, or bucket list experience for my current client base? I feel this is true now more than ever. I do partially listen to the news about obviously cost of living and people getting more concerned, but I don't necessarily let that stop me doing everything. But I am right now being more conscious. Is this really responding to a need, a desire, a bucket list experience? Because I think people are still investing in those things, not so much the frivolous. So is this a real need, desire, or bucket list experience for my current client base? And if it is, and they are able, they will find a way of making it possible. My yoga retreats abroad have always been around £800 to £900. I like to keep them quite affordable. But we're doing this big retreat next year with 3 teachers with 10 days over a festival to India. And the only way we could make this work was a price of £2,500. I was terrified of that, to the degree that I said to the people I'm working with, I think we're going to have to pull this retreat. I don't think we can run it. It's too expensive. But we decided to try, and we knew it was a bucket list. And I spent a long time explaining the value. And as I told you yesterday, 2 hours, 45 minutes, that retreat was sold out because it was a bucket list experience for people. It was a true desire to visit the home of yoga, and it was to my client base. So they trusted me. So people will still invest in your higher priced tickets if it's genuinely responding to a need, a desire, or a bucket list experience. Then thirdly, does the investment offer fair value for money? And this is fair for you, fair for your suppliers, and fair for the customer as well. One of my worst fears is that people will think I'm a ripoff, or that people will think I'm too expensive. It really kind of sits with me in my pricing. And my biggest fear with this £2,500 retreat was that people would think I was just trying to make money or rip them off. And I spent so long writing the email explaining why it was that much. It's 10 days. There's 3 teachers. We're going over a festival. We're staying at a hotel that's directly on the banks of the River Ganga, the only one in Rishikesh. And all of the emails that came back was, this is such good value. I'm really looking forward to this. They could see the value. So if you can communicate the value because it's fair, people will trust you. You had the same thing with my teaching chair yoga book. It's £35. We're not used to seeing books at £35. I was so worried about the reception, but I knew what the cost of printing, the cost of Amazon. I make £13 on every book sale. I knew that process, so I explained it to my audience. So if you're worried about something being too expensive, ask yourself, is it fair? And if it is fair, be transparent and explain it. People aren't transparent when it's not fair. So if it's fair, and be fair, explain, be open, tell people why the price of something it is, what it includes. 4, are you doing this for the right reason? And this is where yoga heads and non-yoga business heads don't come together very well. So my husband, he was always telling me what I should do in my business, telling me different things that would make sense to have an offering on. But that's because he just sees it as a low time investment way of making money. Like he wants me to put a subscription on my on-demand class website. I say, no, nope, doesn't align with my values. It's not a need or desire. It's not what my light is. It doesn't excite me. So I urge you not to ever put an offer out just because it's a quick way to make a buck. And I know you wouldn't do that anyway, but just sit with that. Are you doing it for the right reason? Is it aligned with your Dharma? Oh, and that was the next one. Does it align with your Dharma? Okay. Are you doing this because you've seen another teacher doing it? Are you copying something? Or is it actually your Dharma, your path? And your Dharma could have the same kind of offering as another teacher. That's okay. That's okay. But are you doing it because it's your path? And are you excited? We said that yesterday. And lastly on it, are you prepared to do all the work? All the work. When often we get excited about ideas, we think just about the teaching bit, the teaching bit and maybe the lesson planning. But say, take with retreats. When I run retreats, I have to spend hours researching venues. I have to spend hours negotiating with the venues. Then I have to reach out and find local tour operators, transportation. I have to negotiate with the chefs. I have to go over the menus. I have to write booking terms and conditions. I have to write the marketing, upload that to my website. I have to take all the payments. I have to chase people for their deposits and their balance. I have to get all of their dietary requirements together, send 18 million emails, collate all their emergency contact details. Are you prepared to do all of the work? If you only want to do a snippet of it, you could collaborate with somebody, or it's just not your Dharma. Okay. And remember, that is the teaching of the Bhagavad Gita. Be prepared to do the work and don't wish to not do the work. But ask yourself, am I prepared to do all of this work? Then, this is a common mistake I see time and time again. Marketing first, content second. So let's think of some of the exciting ideas you've had. Be it a 6-week beginner's yoga course, be it a 12-month yoga sutras journey, be it a retreat to somewhere fabulous. The next logical step in your yoga teacher head is often to plan it. So I'll see a 6-week beginner's course or a back care course, someone then go and physically lesson plan out every week of the course. Or if it's an online course, get all of the videos, all of the meditations, all of the pranayamas filmed to produce all of the content. And then once they've produced the content, you feel happy that you have this thing that's ready to market and then is ready to sell. I understand that, but trust me, it doesn't work. Because what happens is you put all of your passion and enthusiasm into generating the content. Then you don't save yourself either enough time or enough energy to do the marketing. And then when it comes to doing the marketing, you maybe just send out one email or one bit on social media, and you don't really get many bookings. And then you feel really bad because you've put all of this work into generating the content and no one wants to do it. You feel dejected, you never do the program, and it just feels like a failure. And that sucks. And the idea you probably have is a really good one. You just approached it the wrong way. So when you have an idea, like take, for instance, my philosophy and movement course, I knew the idea. I knew the sessions were an hour and 45 minutes. I knew that week 1 was going to be looking at the beginning of the universe and the meaning of Om. I knew that week 2 was going to be looking at the Vedas and Vedanta philosophy. I knew that week 3 was going to start journeying into the Bhagavad Gita, week 4 Dharma, or month 4, sorry, month 5 Karma Yoga. So I knew the very headline topics. I have not lesson planned them. I haven't planned month 5 yet. I'll plan it the week of the course. So I knew just enough that I could create a web page and tell people about the course and what was included. I didn't create even the manuals. I make the manual each month as the session comes up. So then I took all of that creative energy and excitement, instead of putting it into content, I put it into marketing. Setting up the web page, creating all of the image, writing all the words, writing all of the marketing emails, writing all of the social media and scheduling it. Then I knew that there was 40 people that had signed up for this year-long course, and that enthusiasm and excitement then goes into the content. And every month I'm so excited to make the content because I know exactly the people I'm delivering it to, and each month adjust slightly based on what happened in the month before. So this is a really common mistake. Have enough of an outline to be able to explain what your offering is, but then market it. Once it's sold, then create the content. So I'm going to go very quickly through a step-by-step guide to filling your offerings. This is everything you need to know, but I have a much prettier version of this with a week-by-week tick-off. It's on my website, it's on the blog, it's free. It calls like a step-by-step guide to filling your retreats. It's this same content, but kind of a much bigger workbook that you can tick off as you go. So it takes you through this more slowly. How do you run a promotion campaign? If you are setting up a new class, a new course, you need about a 6-week lead time. The more expensive or the more time investment your offering is, the longer that lead time needs to be. So the Rishikesh retreat, at £2,500, I started marketing that a full 14 months out. I didn't expect it to sell out in 2 hours time, but people did need to be able to save for that. And it gave me enough time to market it if I wanted. So a day retreat, I'd maybe start 3 months out. A weekend retreat, I'd probably start 6 months out, if I'm honest. A week retreat abroad, I start a year out, 9 months to a year. Because I like to do things slowly and I don't like overwhelm. So how do you create these? It's step by step, simply spread the time length over more. Same process, just spread it out. Step 1 is to create an invitation page. So a lot of people in the industry will call this a sales page, the page on your website that says what the thing is. I prefer to call it an invitation page. I am actually just going to stop that screen share and show you one. Tech is not my friend at the minute today, is it? There we go. Just going to put that screen share back on. So I'm coming over to my website. So you keep hearing me blabber on about philosophy and movement. So let's have a look. So this is the invitation page for my philosophy and movement. Again, most people call it a sales page. It's simply telling what it is. Philosophy and movement. Simple title, 12-month course, 1 evening a month, in-person or online, says what it is in 3 bullet points, gives people a quick way to immediately go book today, prices. And then it says a little bit more. We spoke about the hook. So my hook for this, would you love to learn more about the ancient wisdom of yoga and how to infuse its teachings into your life? Just had the information about what's included in Picture format, pictures say as much as words do. Yeah. And then clear outline of the actual course, the course structure, the price, a little bit about me, and then how to pay. Let's show you another one. So let's look at the retreat to Rishikesh, because we keep talking about that. It's easier here. I'll find this one. So this is a weekend yoga retreat for teachers on transformative rest. So again, you can see there's a little pretty picture, says what it is, teachers retreat, transformative rest, tiny sentence, says a little bit about what's in it, yoga for you, yoga nidra, Thai massage, tells you the more important details about the accommodation, who's teaching, the schedule, the price, and how to book. So these are invitation pages, or you'll more commonly hear them called sales pages. So you got to set up one of those. Let's go back to, excuse me, clicking around. Let's go back to this. So after you've created the invitation page, and that comes all the way back to day 2, you need to write it in your students' words, use images that's going to appeal to them. You want to create the images and the texts. Images are so powerful. People buy first and foremost from an emotional reaction, and then secondly from logic. Even the most logical people need that emotional connection first, and that's best brought through images. Clear text written in your students' words, and this, why do I care? Why is it relevant to me? So when and I do that, I create all of my images, all of my text. Then you announce that you're launching this new thing, launching this yoga retreat to Rishikesh, launching my beginner's course. You just make an announcement, really excited to announce the launch of my new 6-week yoga beginner's course. Really excited to announce the launch of a yoga retreat weekend. CTA means call to action. You always have to have one. It's the invitation. Really excited to announce my 6-week beginners course. Click here to learn more. Click here to register today. If it's a much bigger investment retreat course, click here to book a quick phone call with me. So you're always telling someone what to do next. Mix mediums. What does medium mean? Mediums is it a written post? Does somebody need to read it? Is it a picture graphic? Is it an Instagram reel? Is it a poster? Is it a flyer? Is it an email? Is it a handwritten invitation that you give to your students in class? What is the medium through which you're sharing this? And my loves, think old school. You could write cards, like little note cards to your students and say, I would love to invite you to attend this retreat with me. Oh my God, I'd love to receive that. Okay? So think old school as well as, yes, do a reel. Then spread the announcements out over 1 week. So what you'll see me often do is, let's take, for instance, this free course that we're all doing now. I think I announced that first in email, I think. There'd have been email going out to my current list of teachers saying, love to invite you, the Thrive course is returning. The next day, I probably changed on Facebook the header pictures on my personal page and my business page. If you look, they'll still be there. So the cover images, I changed those. Then the day after, I probably put something on Instagram stories. The day after that, I probably put a post in the Yoga Teacher Collaborative group. The day after that, it might have been an event that went up. So they're all under launch, excited to launch different mediums on different platforms, but I wouldn't have done it all on the same day. Because if it goes out all on the same day, someone feels bombarded and still it comes in, they hear it once and then it's gone out. If someone saw the launch get announced in their email, and then they notice it a couple of days on social media, it's like, oh yeah, I meant to book that. So that announcement, spread it out. Second, send personal invitations. So I said, this is the way I feel most things like retreats, literally a personal invitation. Hi, Marcus. I would love you to come to Rishikesh. I think this is right up your alley. I know you're really interested in it. You could do that in email, Messenger, WhatsApp, as I just said, an old school note card. Follow up the personal invitations. Then for additional marketing, if it's 6 weeks, it's one every 3 weeks. If it's 6 months, it's one every month. You look at what you're offering and you split it into 3 key pillars. So the transformative rest course teaches people how to improve their digestion through proper rest, how to help themselves sleep better, and breathing. So it's like 3 key things. And I could write an educational piece. 6 reasons why you might struggle to sleep. How yoga is amazing at improving stamina through breath. So educational pieces, not sales. Then at the bottom of it, you're like, P.S. if you'd like to learn more about this, I'm running a 6-week course on breathing. So purely educational with a P.S. at the bottom. Then further down the line, if you've still got spaces, you contact the people who are booked and you ask them to invite a friend and give them incentive. You got that from me with this course. I said to you, if you're watching the replays, it's really hard to find the motivation. Why don't you grab a friend and do the replays together? So ask people to invite a friend. Always send the last chance to book. If you've still got spaces, always send the last chance to book. That's the one I have to force myself to do. Well, it's full enough. No, send the last chance to book. It's this Saturday. You'll often pick up 1 or 2 more people. Then if you are delivering a course, continue to give ongoing mentions about what's happening in it, in your email, in your social media, because that will start getting people interested for the next time. Sharing reviews and all of this, if that sounded a bit overwhelming, can be scheduled. So if I've got a new day retreat coming up, I know that for me needs probably 3 pieces of marketing: launch, an educational piece on something I'm teaching in it, and a last chance to book. I can write all of that at the same time. I can sit down and go, right, I'm going to write it all and then schedule it. Same with social media. I can prepare all of the graphics, write all of the posts and schedule it. So as soon as you have this new thing, do all of your marketing, schedule it to go out over 6 weeks or more, and then it stopped taking up brain space. So rather than having that pressure in your mind at 2 a.m., oh my God, I've really got to market that retreat. You're like, oh my God, I've really got to market that retreat. Oh, it's already scheduled. Thank you. And it just takes that pressure off. As I said, I have got a step-by-step guide on this. It's on my blog. It's free. Just go grab it. Then continue to ask yourself, what do you need to learn? It's okay if you don't know all the steps. You work it out step by step. So favorite quote from Maria Folio, everything is figure outable. You don't have to know how to do it all at the outset. Again, this is in your handout. I'll just click back again, but you've got this 20 ideas on how to launch that is in your workbook. So you can spend time with that. So that's been a lot in 4 days, I know, and I know it will continue to percolate and I don't go anywhere. We've always got the Yoga Teacher Collaborative. So am I ready to bring this to life? And if you're ready to bring it to life, it doesn't matter if you don't believe in it yet. It doesn't matter if you don't believe in you. I believe in you, even if I've not met you face to face, because I've worked with, it's like 2,500 people in our community. I work with a lot of yoga teachers. I know what you can do if it means something to you. And you can believe in yoga. So if you don't believe in you, believe in yoga, because you know it works, you know it changes lives, believe in that. If you would like to take my hand and we do it together, that is possible too. So there's lots of ways we can work together. If you want to learn more about business and mentorship, we can talk about that now. If you want to learn more about teaching some of the other diverse things of yoga, I can help there. You know, I've got the Teaching Chair Yoga book that also covers business. If you want to learn more about teaching transformative rest, we have a retreat in October in Devon, just on that. But if you want to learn more about business or you want mentorship, I would love to do this with you. As you can tell, this is my Dharma, this is my love, this is my light. There is nothing that fills me up more than helping yoga teachers to shine. So this is why I have the Serve and Thrive mentorship program. It's been running for a couple of years now. It is a 12-week mentorship program and training just for yoga teachers. But what I love about it is that you get lifetime access to all of the on-demand trainings. So you don't have to do it in 12 weeks. You can take 12 months to do it if you like, and I never go anywhere, and you have lifetime access to it. You have on-demand trainings that you can do at any time, watch as many times, and keep forever. But then you get direct support and accountability with group coaching calls with me, because I know knowledge isn't all we need. We need accountability, we need support, we need a little bit of troubleshooting, and we just need someone in our corner to go, you've got this, I believe in you, just change that a little bit and go for it. Okay, so you get this direct support with me, accountability, and you get group coaching calls. Then there's one-to-one advice and feedback in WhatsApp. So you WhatsApp me, I've written my sales page, is this okay? Oh my God, I've changed this. This is the feedback I got. What do I do about this? This is my flyer. Could you have a look at it? Constantly, 24 hours a day, you can WhatsApp me. And then I send you loads of templates just to make your life easier. And you have lifetime access to all of those. Templates to launch your course, to launch your classes, to launch your beginners classes, all of them. So this is lovely Tim, who did my mentorship program January 21, I think. So Tim said, I've got the results to prove how successful you can be if you follow Laura's process. It's simple but hard work. The number of people I'm teaching is up by 40% in 2 months. And I've smashed my best ever month for turnover. Brilliant course, pleased I signed up. And some of you might remember Beth, she won the coaching call last year, and she's just finished the mentorship with me. She had a lot to say. Beth put, I've completed the 12-week mentorship with Laura earlier this year. As a new teacher, I wanted to learn how to develop my business, to be able to reduce my hours in my employed role and create a sustainable income as a yoga teacher. I've gone from being employed full-time to working 3 days a week, and I continue to grow a thriving yoga community. And I can honestly say I'm creating the work-life balance I've been dreaming of. Laura is supportive, approachable, and highly knowledgeable about yoga and business. Having accountability and support of the group was invaluable. My confidence as a yoga teacher has grown, and I can honestly say I'm not only a yoga teacher, but an entrepreneur and a business owner. I love that she was able to cut her days at her full-time job down to 3. So what will you learn how to do? Build a sustainable and profitable business, whether that's part-time, full-time, whatever you want it to be. Market your yoga offerings with heart. We do cover teaching as well as business. So you will learn more about sequencing, theming, using your voice so that you can deliver inspiring and creative yoga classes. You'll learn how to fill your yoga classes and build a following, expand to workshops and events, and step into your uniqueness and serve. All these things you've got a taste of. So this is Jackie. She did it last year. This program has delivered more than I ever imagined, covering all aspects from marketing, photography, sequencing, creativity, and mindset, along with much more. With Laura's training, I've maintained my online presence, built a new studio with sold-out classes, plus sold-out day retreats, and now my first retreat in Spain, which I know now actually is sold out. So what have you got training specifically on? How to attract new students, plus Canva launch templates. So all the images done for you. The ins and outs and templates for creating a truly first-class customer experience. So all of those things I mentioned yesterday, get templates for all of them. Social Media 101 for yoga teachers with a leading brand expert. You can see my love of social media is not as strong as my experts, Danielle, so she comes and does that for us. Email marketing, copywriting, and website reviews. So I'll look at your website, we'll get that up and running. I'll teach you email marketing, but more importantly, I'll teach you copywriting. Yoga photography, you have a photography training with a leading photography educator, so you can actually make images you're proud of. and how to run events and workshops. So I have anonymized this next review because it's a picture of her bank payout. But this teacher had been teaching for just under a year, and she was so excited, she sent me on WhatsApp a screenshot of her bank payout. So Wix paid her £973.62 for 1 month. So she put, my best month yet. Can't thank you enough for your mentorship program. And I obviously replied, well done. She works hard. £973 is an amazing start, but I know she can do a lot more than that too. In addition, there is business trainings and teaching skills on how to build a private client base for one-to-ones, creative, heartfelt sequencing, the power of language, intuitive observation, and mindset training for self-belief and overcoming imposter syndrome. As I said already, lifetime access. This is your invitation. I would love to work with you. If you are in a position to enroll before September the 11th, so that is the end of next week, you also get a one-to-one strategy session with me. It's 45 minutes and you can get started on the course straight away. The limited offer, so you've got that till the 11th of September because I can only fit so many one-to-ones in. If you want that, that is there for you. So this is Lucy, one more. Lucy said, Laura is a fountain of knowledge and her enthusiasm is infectious, helped me steer my business in the best direction for me. The results since beginning the course speak for themselves with increased social media activity, a new website, more students, and great feedback. I've implemented changes to the way I structure my working week with regards to lesson planning and scheduling my marketing, freeing up more time for me. I feel much more confident going forwards as a result. So officially, the opening circle for this is the 18th of September. Every single thing is filmed and you have lifetime access. So this can work for any schedule. If you can't make any of the sessions live, I am always there for you on WhatsApp and we just jump on a quick call one-to-one. So don't worry too much about the dates and the times because we make it work. One-to-ones, we pick this up there and there, voice notes, we get it done on your schedule. Officially, opening circle is the 18th of September. Replays available with lifetime access. So you can pay in full. It is £800. I know that can sound daunting, a lot of money at the beginning. But you remember what Sam said. Oops, I just told you her name. Rewind that. Remember what that person said, that they made £973 in 1 month. We can do this. That's one decent workshop, decent participants at £30. We can make this back up easily. Or you can pay by installments 3 at £275. So any questions, we'll go through that now. But just to remind you that there is a competition and some of you are working really hard. I have a little list here of your homework and I tick it off when I do it. So you have till the end of today, nighttime, probably, to get the homework for the 4 days in, and then someone will be selected for the first prize, which is the one-to-one live coaching call, 3 p.m. tomorrow. Everybody gets to watch that on Facebook. It won't be open on Zoom, so you'll watch that on Facebook. So you can see what coaching is like. So if you get that first prize, you do have to be available at 3 p.m. tomorrow. Second prize is again live, so everyone else can learn from it, website review. Third prize, social media review. Fourth prize, you get the photography on demand training. Fifth prize, come do some yoga with me. We'll go do the morning warriors together. Okay, I don't know if my audio is working again yet. So if any questions, you can try speaking, see if I can hear you, or just type them in the chat. Any questions about the course, I'll send you a link so you can read more about it as well. Heather, not Tim, thank you. Great, Martha, good to hear that's what you normally do. On goodie bags, Paul, on goodie bags, I'm looking for personalized knee pads, foam to soften impact. Any sources? No. There is great knee pads from one company, but they're really expensive. Often just things like the Range have knee pads. And I wouldn't worry about personalizing them. And goodie bags, they add a lot of cost. They add cost and stuff. People can put a pair of socks under their knees, a blanket, a cushion. Scrolling down for questions. Got my knee pads, £10 on Amazon, Paul, someone's put in the comments.
Yeah, I found those. They're good. I was just after a sort of a bulk buy that I could get badged up, as it were.
Alrighty. Seeing. Okay, so if there's any other questions, good. And Rachel, enjoy your event tomorrow, hon. If there's any other questions, just put them in the Facebook group. I'm around. I'll continue to answer them. I'll send you an email at some point with an invitation to the mentorship. It's on my website now if you nosy want to have a look. And I look forward to seeing you again soon. Stay for the Friday weekly live shows. Every Friday, I train you on something or someone else does. And we will be back tomorrow for the coaching session. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Goodbye, my loves.
Thanks, Laura.